Have you ever wondered why the US dollar holds such a dominant position in the global economy? Well, to understand this, we need to take a trip back in time. Picture this. It's the post-World War II era. Nations are picking up the pieces, and the international community is eager to build a new world order. Enter the Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944. This pivotal conference led to the establishment of a new monetary system. And guess which currency was at the center of it all? You got it, the US dollar. The Bretton Woods system pegged other currencies to the US dollar, which was in turn linked to gold. This made the US dollar the world's reserve currency, a currency held in significant quantities by governments and institutions as part of their foreign exchange reserves. The system was designed to prevent economic crises, but it also gave the US an incredible amount of economic power. The US dollar's dominance has shaped global trade and economics in numerous ways. For one, it has allowed the US to borrow at lower costs, giving it an edge in global finance. It also means that many commodities, such as oil, are priced in dollars, which further entrenches its dominance. But it's not all roses. This dominance also has its drawbacks. It places an enormous burden on the US economy, and any fluctuations in the dollar's value can have far-reaching effects. For instance, a strong dollar can make US exports more expensive, hurting American businesses. Moreover, the dollar's dominance has also led to global inequality. Many emerging economies are at the mercy of the US's monetary policy. A clear example is how fluctuations in the US dollar exchange rate have negatively impacted oil-dependent countries like Venezuela. So the US dollar's dominance has had profound implications for global economics. But what happens when a country decides to challenge this hegemony? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this fascinating topic in our next segment. Recently, Iraq has made a bold move to ban all US dollar transactions starting from 2024. This decision has certainly raised eyebrows around the globe. But what's behind this surprising course of action? Iraq's decision is primarily driven by two factors. Firstly, to combat financial crimes that have been a persistent issue. The US dollar, given its global dominance, has often been the currency of choice for illicit activities. By banning its use, Iraq aims to clamp down on such activities, promoting a cleaner and more transparent financial system. The second reason is to reduce the influence of the US dollar. The dollar's dominance in the global financial stage has led to a significant imbalance. U.S. monetary policies often cause fluctuations in the dollar exchange rate, and these fluctuations can have a devastating impact on oil-dependent economies like Iraq. By banning dollar transactions, Iraq aims to shield its economy from such risks and losses. But what does this decision mean for Iraq's economy and its relations with the U.S.? On the domestic front, this move could potentially stabilize Iraq's economy in the long run, reducing its vulnerability to outside influences. However, it's also a double-edged sword. Iraq's economy is heavily reliant on oil exports, most of which are transacted in dollars. A sudden shift could potentially disrupt the oil market, causing short-term economic upheaval. As for its relations with the U.S., it's a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, this decision could strain the ties between the two nations, given the potential impact on the U.S. dollar's global standing. On the other hand, it could also open up new avenues for cooperation, particularly in the field of financial technology and currency regulation. Iraq's decision is indeed a significant move, but what could be the potential implications for the global economy? As we delve deeper, we'll see that this decision could have far-reaching effects, possibly reshaping the landscape of global finance. So stay tuned as we continue our journey through this fascinating turn of events. The global economy is an intricate web of interdependencies. A decision like Iraq's can create ripples far and wide. Let's start with global trade. Iraq's move to ban US dollar transactions could potentially bring about a shift in the international trade landscape. The US dollar has long been the preferred currency for global commodities trading, particularly oil. With Iraq, a major oil producer, stepping away from the dollar, we might witness a shift towards other currencies for oil trade. This could lead to a decrease in the demand for the US dollar, causing its value to drop in the currency markets. Speaking of currency markets, they're likely to experience quite a bit of turbulence. The US dollar, considered a global reserve currency, plays a vital role in maintaining stability in these markets. Any reduction in its use can lead to increased volatility, which could have a domino effect on economies worldwide. Now let's turn to foreign relations. Iraq's decision might strain its relations with the United States, given the role the U.S. dollar plays in America's economic and geopolitical influence. However, it could also open doors to closer ties with countries that have been looking to reduce their dependency on the dollar, such as China and Russia. This move by Iraq might inspire other oil-dependent countries to follow suit. Countries like Venezuela, which have been greatly impacted by fluctuations in the U.S. dollar exchange rate, might see this as an opportunity to mitigate economic risks and losses. On the flip side, it's crucial to consider potential reactions from the United States. The U.S. could respond with economic sanctions or political pressure to dissuade other countries from abandoning the dollar. However, such actions could further fuel the desire of these nations to seek alternatives to the dollar. As we can see, Iraq's decision could have far-reaching implications. But there's another piece to this puzzle, the rise of the Chinese RMB. While Iraq is moving away from the US dollar, it's looking towards another currency, the Chinese RMB. The renminbi, or RMB, has been slowly but surely gaining traction in global trade settlements. This shift is not merely a knee-jerk reaction, rather it's indicative of a strategic pivot that many countries are considering in this ever-evolving global financial landscape. So why the RMB? For starters, it offers a potential hedge against the volatility of the US dollar. With the US dollar's fluctuating value causing havoc for economies heavily reliant on commodities like oil, the RMB presents an alternative. Moreover, for countries like Iraq, choosing RMB settlement could significantly reduce exchange rate risks and costs, thereby improving their international competitiveness. But the story doesn't end here. The rise of the RMB is also a reflection of China's increasing economic clout. As the world's second-largest economy, China is a key trading partner for many nations. Therefore, it makes pragmatic sense for these countries to engage with China using its currency. This not only simplifies trade but also strengthens diplomatic ties, creating a win-win scenario. However, let's not get ahead of ourselves. The RMB's journey to becoming a global reserve currency is fraught with challenges. For one, the RMB's global circulation is still limited compared to the US dollar. Furthermore, concerns about China's regulatory environment and the transparency of its financial system may deter some countries from adopting the RMB. And let's not forget that old habits die hard. The US dollar has been the world's dominant currency for decades, and shifting away from it is no small feat. So while the RMB is rising, it faces a steep climb to replace the US dollar. But the winds of change are certainly blowing. In this global game of monetary chess, every move counts. As we've seen, the world's financial markets are divided, some still holding on to the US dollar as a universal financial instrument, and others, like Iraq, choosing to abandon it. The dominance of the US dollar has led to global inequality and market fluctuations, with countries like Venezuela, whose economy is heavily reliant on oil, feeling the brunt of these effects. Iraq's decision to ban all US dollar transactions from 2024 is a bold move, aimed at combating financial crimes and reducing the dollar's influence. This decision will undoubtedly have ripple effects on the global economy. As economies adapt to this change, we may witness a shift in power dynamics, leading to a more balanced global economic landscape. On the other side of the coin, we have the rise of the Chinese RMB. More countries are considering the RMB as a viable option for trade settlement. By choosing RMB settlement, Iraq may be able to reduce its exchange rate risks and costs, improving its international competitiveness. However, the road to the RMB's dominance is not without its obstacles. Market challenges and limited global circulation may create hurdles in its path to replace the US dollar in the short term. In this ever-changing world of global economics, it's crucial to stay informed and be prepared for any twists and turns. The ban on US dollar transactions by Iraq is just one move on the chessboard, and it's fascinating to see how the game will unfold. As we navigate through these economic waves, we encourage you to keep a close eye on these developments. The decisions made today will shape the financial landscape of tomorrow, and it's important to understand the potential implications of these changes. And that wraps up our discussion on Iraq's decision to ban US dollar transactions and its implications. Stay tuned for more such insightful discussions on global economics.